Behind the fame and red carpets lie stories of love, pride, and powerful family bonds. Today, we're uncovering 15 famous black celebrities you probably know have LGBTQ plus kids. From music icons to movie legends, each proving that love truly knows no limits. Get ready. This list will surprise you, inspire you, and warm your heart. 1. Saad Adu, the legendary British-Nigerian songstress whose velvety voice defined an era, has always carried an air of mystery. Known for her timeless classics like Smooth Operator and By Your Side, Saada's allure has never relied on fame or spectacle. Instead, she has built a legacy on authenticity, a quality that quietly extends into her personal life, especially in the way she has supported her child, Isaac Theo Adu. When Isaac publicly came out as non-binary and began his transition in 2016, the world caught a rare glimpse into Saada's private universe. In heartfelt posts, Isaac expressed deep gratitude to his mother, writing, "Thank you for staying by my side these past 6 months, Mama." The words painted a portrait of unconditional love. Not loud or performative, but steady, patient, and deeply human. For someone as famously private as Saad, this quiet act of devotion spoke volumes. Their bond represents something rare and beautiful, a mother's love that transcends identity, expectation, and public gaze. While others might turn their journey into a media spectacle, Saad chose silence, a silence that protects, nourishes, and speaks louder than any headline. In an age where celebrity families often curate their lives for attention, Saad and Isaac's story stands as a gentle reminder that love doesn't need an audience to be powerful. Today, Isaac Theo Adu has blossomed into a model and filmmaker, carving out his own creative path with the same grace that defines his mother's artistry. And though Saad remains largely out of the spotlight, her influence, both as an artist and as a parent, endures. Her soulful melodies once taught the world about love and vulnerability. Her life now shows us what that love looks like when it's lived quietly, steadfastly, and without condition. 2. Magic Johnson, one of basketball's greatest legends, has long been admired for his charm, leadership, and resilience on the court. But beyond the bright lights of the NBA, his most powerful legacy might just be the love and acceptance he's shown his son, E.J. Johnson. When E.J. came out as gay in 2013, the moment became a turning point, not just for their family, but for countless fans who saw in him a model of openness and unconditional love. At first, Magic's reaction was that of a father learning something new, trying to understand what it meant for his son and their relationship. But what followed was growth, a deep, visible evolution into a proud, vocal advocate for his child. In interviews, he has often described E.J. as fearless, a word that perfectly captures a younger Johnson's unapologetic confidence and individuality. Through his appearances on reality TV and his bold fashion choices, E.J. has built his own identity, unafraid of judgment and unapologetic in self-expression. Their family's conversation with Oprah revealed the heart of their journey, the honesty, the learning, and the love that tied them together. Magic and Cookie didn't just accept their son, they celebrated him. They showed that true parental love isn't about reshaping your child to fit expectations, but standing by them as they become who they are meant to be. Today, E.J. Johnson stands as a vibrant symbol of pride and authenticity, while Magic remains one of his loudest supporters. The former athlete's transformation from surprise to celebration reflects the power of love to transcend confusion and fear. It's a story not just about fame or fashion, but about family, about a father choosing to love his son loudly, proudly, and without condition. 3. Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union have redefined what modern black parenthood can look like, one rooted in empathy, advocacy, and radical love. Together, the NBA legend and the acclaimed actress have become some of the most vocal and visible supporters of their transgender daughter, Zaya Wade. At just 17, Zaya has grown into a symbol of courage and authenticity, and her parents have stood beside her every step of the way, turning their platform into a beacon for acceptance and education. When Zaya came out as transgender in 2020, the family's public response was immediate and full of grace. Instead of silence or deflection, Dwayne and Gabrielle chose openness. They began speaking publicly about the importance of listening to their child, learning from her, and creating a home where she could thrive without fear. Their interviews, from Good Morning America to social media conversations, have carried the same consistent message that love and affirmation are not optional. They are essential. Gabrielle often describes parenting as a sacred responsibility to protect your child's joy, while Dwayne, once the embodiment of traditional masculinity in sports, now uses his influence to challenge stereotypes about manhood, family, and queerness in the Black community. The couple's advocacy extends far beyond words. They've attended Miami Pride events to stand with Zaya and other LGBTQ plus youth, launched limited edition Pride collections celebrating inclusivity, and supported organizations working to create safer spaces for queer teens. Their actions have transformed them into role models, not only for parents, but also for public figures navigating how to use fame for good. Through every gesture, from Gabrielle's affirming post to Dwayne's speeches on fatherhood, they show that advocacy begins at home, with small acts of listening and unconditional care. Zaya's story, illuminated by her parents' love, has inspired countless young people to live authentically and has given families across the world permission to evolve. In a time when trans visibility often meets hostility, the Wade's unwavering unity feels revolutionary, a living example of what happens when love refuses to be silent. Through them, we are reminded that family isn't about fitting into expectations. It's about creating a space where truth and tenderness can coexist. Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union aren't just raising a daughter. They're helping raise a generation that knows love, in its truest form, is boundless. For Wanda Sykes has never shied away from truth, whether on stage, in interviews, or in her personal life. Known for her razor-sharp wit and fearless commentary, the Emmy-winning comedian has built a career on turning honesty into laughter. But behind her humor lies a heart rooted deeply in love and acceptance, especially when it comes to her family. Since coming out publicly in 2008, Sykes has been a beacon of visibility for the LGBTQ plus community, using her platform to champion equality while building a home grounded in authenticity. Together with her wife, Alex, Sykes is the proud mother of twin daughters born via IVF. As her girls have grown, one has come to identify as queer, a revelation that Sykes has embraced with the same openness and humor that defines her life. Rather than treat it as a moment, she's folded it naturally into her storytelling, reflecting the seamless way love and acceptance coexist in her household. Her stand-up routines often give glimpses into this family dynamic, blending laughter with genuine emotion. Joking about raising fierce little allies, Sykes reminds audiences that advocacy starts at home. Her parenting isn't performative. It's real, full of teaching moments and everyday affirmations that celebrate individuality and self-expression. Beyond the punchlines, Wanda Sykes continues to use her voice for change, partnering with organizations like GLAAD to amplify queer representation in media. Through her comedy, activism, and motherhood, she shows that pride isn't just something you wear during parade. It's something you live, nurture, and pass down one loving, funny, unapologetic moment at a time. 5. Monica, one of the defining voices of 90s R&B and beloved for her timeless classic, The Boy Is Mine, has become a beacon of modern motherhood through her unwavering support for her gay son, Rocco Jr., known for her strength and authenticity, both on and off stage. Monica has never shied away from conversations that many parents in the Black community still find difficult. When she spoke about her son's sexuality, it wasn't with hesitation or distance. It was with a calm confidence rooted in love. She has made it clear that her family's foundation is built on openness, honesty, and the understanding that every child deserves the space to be exactly who they are. What's most remarkable about Monica's approach is how naturally she integrates acceptance into her motherhood story. She doesn't perform allyship. She lives it. In interviews, she's described how important it is to listen to her children, to meet them where they are, and to remind them daily that her love isn't dependent on their choices. It's constant. Her support for Rocco Jr. isn't just about tolerance. It's about active, vocal pride. Monica has often said that being a mother means learning as much as teaching. And through her son's journey, she's learned to embrace new perspectives on love, gender, and identity. For many in the LGBTQ plus community, especially young Black men who face layered struggles around masculinity and acceptance, seeing a figure like Monica stand proudly beside her son sends a powerful message. It says that love doesn't shrink in the face of difference. It expands. It also dismantles harmful cultural myths that equate queerness with shame or rebellion. Monica's public embrace of her son offers a new narrative, that being queer and being loved unconditionally are not mutually exclusive. In a world where celebrities often protect their image by avoiding controversy, Monica's openness feels revolutionary. She has transformed her platform into a reflection of what modern R&B has always stood for at its best, emotional truth. By celebrating her son's identity, she continues to teach her fans that real love, the kind she's always sung about, is not confined by expectation or tradition. It is brave, fluid, and endlessly expansive, just like her music. 6. Whoopi Goldberg has always stood out as a voice of authenticity, blunt, brilliant, and unafraid to live by her own rules. The legendary actress, comedian, and The View co-host has earned her place as one of the few EGOT winners in history. Yet her proudest role might just be the one far from the cameras, grandmother. Her granddaughter, Amara Ruth, came out as pansexual in 2019, and in true Whoopi fashion, the response was grounded in simple, unconditional love. Known for her candid spirit, Goldberg's reaction was as heartfelt as it was straightforward. "If you're happy, I'm happy," she told The Advocate, a line that perfectly captures her philosophy on life and family. There was no spectacle, no overthinking, just a quiet acknowledgement that love means letting people be who they are. It's the same energy she's carried throughout her decades of advocacy for equality and human rights, woven seamlessly into her family life. Their relationship reflected genuine bond, not built on titles or expectations, but on laughter, shared wisdom, and mutual respect. Amara often speaks of her grandmother with admiration, and it's easy to see why. Goldberg's grounded approach offers both stability and freedom, allowing her granddaughter to explore her identity without fear or pressure. Beyond her work in entertainment, Whoopi's legacy has always been about embracing difference, about standing in your truth no matter who's watching. Her support of Amara feels like an extension of that same principle, proving once again that love, when rooted in acceptance, doesn't need grand gestures. It just needs to show up real, steady, and without condition. 7. Sherri Shepherd has always brought humor, honesty, and heart to daytime television, but her most powerful moments often come when the laughter pauses and she speaks from the soul. The beloved talk show host and comedian has been refreshingly open about her journey as a mother, especially since her son, Jeffrey, came out as gay. What began as a private moment between mother and son has blossomed into a public story of love, growth, and acceptance that continues to touch audiences around the world. In candid segments on her show, Shepherd shared that Jeffrey's coming out initially stirred up fear, not because of who he was, but because of the world he would have to face. As a mother, she worried about his safety, his happiness, and how others might treat him. But that fear quickly transformed into fierce pride. Through tears, she told viewers in 2022, "He's my heart." A line that resonated deeply with parents everywhere who are learning to love their children beyond their own expectations. Shepherd's openness about that emotional evolution, from uncertainty to unwavering support, has become one of her most meaningful contributions off-screen. By speaking honestly about her learning process, she's offered comfort to other parents navigating similar journeys, showing that love sometimes requires unlearning and relearning in real time. Today, Sherri Shepherd continues to champion LGBTQ+ acceptance with the same warmth and candor that define her career. Her relationship with Jeffrey stands as a testament to the transformative power of love, how it grows, adapts, and ultimately deepens when we choose empathy over fear. In her story, laughter and love coexist beautifully, reminding us that even the hardest truths can lead to the most healing kind of joy. 8. Patti LaBelle has spent decades dazzling audiences with her powerhouse voice, unshakable confidence, and signature flair. But beyond the sequins and stage lights, the godmother of soul carries that same spirit of celebration into her family life, especially when it comes to her grandson, William, affectionately known as Patty Jr. When he came out as gay and began exploring drag performance, LaBelle didn't just accept it. She cheered him on with the kind of enthusiasm only a proud grandmother could muster. Their bond is rooted in shared artistry. Patty understands what it means to command a stage, to transform and express yourself through performance, something William has clearly inherited. When he steps into his drag persona, LaBelle's love doesn't waver, it amplifies. She's been known to post messages like, "That's my baby, Shine Boo," on social media, radiating pride and joy for her grandson's self-expression. In many ways, their relationship feels like an extension of Patty's lifelong message: be bold, be beautiful, and never dim your light. Just as she once shattered barriers for Black women in music, she now helps break them for the next generation of queer creatives, simply by standing beside her grandson and letting him sparkle. The two share more than blood. They share a sense of performance as liberation. For LaBelle, it's the voice that carried her to global fame. For William, it's the art of drag, vibrant, expressive, and free. Together, they embody what family looks like when love takes center stage, unfiltered, fabulous, and forever supportive. 9. Angela Bassett has long been the embodiment of grace and power, a woman whose presence commands every screen and stage she steps onto. But beyond the Hollywood spotlight, the two-time Oscar nominee carries that same quiet strength into motherhood. Her relationship with her son, Slater, a queer theater artist, reflects a kind of love that doesn't need to be loud to be profound, a love rooted in respect, understanding, and pride. When Slater came out in college, Bassett's response was not the kind of grand gesture one might expect from a Hollywood icon. Instead, it was tender and deeply human. She stood by him with a calm, steadfast presence, ensuring that her home remained a space of acceptance and warmth. That support found its sweetest expression when she attended his first Pride event incognito, not for publicity or applause, but simply to be there, quietly celebrating him from a crowd. In an interview with Essence, Bassett reflected on her son's journey and her own, saying, "Creativity blooms where love lives." It's a line that perfectly captures their relationship, the merging of artistic souls bound by affection and mutual respect. As an actress who spent her life channeling emotion into art, Bassett recognizes that love, too, is its own creative act, one that requires openness, imagination, and heart. Together, Angela and Slater embody a refined kind of pride, one that doesn't need to be performative to be powerful. Their story is an elegant reminder that acceptance, when rooted in love, naturally blossoms into beauty. In her quiet way, Bassett continues to model the kind of motherhood that nurtures not just talent, but truth, where creativity, identity, and love intertwine in perfect harmony. 10. Keisha Cole, whose voice defined an era of soulful R&B in the 2000s, has long been admired for her raw honesty, both in her music and in her life. That same honesty shines through in how she has embraced and supported her queer son, Daniel Boogie Hutchison Jr., known for wearing her heart on her sleeve. Keisha's response to her son's coming out wasn't one of shock or hesitation, but of deep, unconditional love. Her social media posts, often tender and emotional, show a mother who is not just proud of her child, but proud of the courage it takes to live freely in a world that doesn't always make it easy. Keisha has never been afraid to show vulnerability. It's part of what makes her music resonate so deeply. From heartbreak anthems to soul-stirring ballads, she's built her career on truth. That same truth now extends into her role as a mother of a queer son. Her posts and interviews often carry undertones of gratitude for the chance to grow, to understand, and to learn from her children. She's spoken about how motherhood reshaped her definition of love, teaching her that it's not about control or conformity, but about acceptance and safety. In a time when many LGBTQ+ youth still fear rejection from their families, Keisha's visible affirmation of Boogie's identity serves as a quiet rebellion against that fear. Her openness also reflects a larger cultural shift, one where Black mothers in entertainment are using their influence to normalize acceptance and challenge outdated stigmas around queerness. Keisha, once known for her fiery persona and no-nonsense lyrics, has evolved into a symbol of maternal grace and growth. The same woman who once sang about love gone wrong now models what love done right looks like. A love that listens, protects, and celebrates without boundaries. Through her journey with Boogie, Keisha Cole reminds her fans that family is about creating a space where everyone can breathe freely, where authenticity is not just allowed but cherished. Her story isn't only about a famous singer and her son. It's about the transformative power of love in its most human form. Just as her music has healed hearts for decades, her example as a mother continues to heal and inspire a new generation, one where being queer and being loved are not opposites, but reflections of the same divine truth. 11. Alfre Woodard has always been more than a performer. She's a force of compassion, intellect, and quiet defiance. With careers spanning decades and genres, the Emmy-winning actress has brought humanity to every role she touches, from Luke Cage to 12 Years a Slave. Yet beyond her screen work, Woodard's most enduring masterpiece might be the family and values she's nurtured off camera. As a mother of twins, one of whom identifies as a lesbian and works in activism, Woodard has seamlessly extended her lifelong advocacy for justice into her parenting. Her home, much like her art, is rooted in empathy and empowerment. Rather than sheltering her children from the world's complexities, she has raised them to confront it with clarity, courage, and grace. That philosophy echoes in her words at a 2023 panel. "We raise warriors, not warriors against each other." It's a line that captures the essence of her worldview, one built on unity, not division. Her daughter's work in activism reflects the same fire that's guided Woodard throughout her career. As co-founder of Artists for a New South Africa, she spent years using her influence to amplify voices, fight systemic inequality, and invest in youth empowerment. That same vision clearly informs how she parents, not through control, but through example. In a world where celebrity families often chase attention, Alfre Woodard's legacy stands apart. Her approach to motherhood, fierce, tender, and unapologetically principled, mirrors her artistry. Whether on stage, on screen, or at home, she continues to prove that true power lies not in fame or accolades, but in the love and purpose we pass on to the next generation. 12. That Jennifer Hudson, with her unmistakable voice and commanding presence, has always been a force of strength and grace. From her rise on American Idol to her Oscar-winning performance in Dreamgirls, she's become a symbol of perseverance, a woman who has turned personal pain into power. Yet one of her most profound roles is that of a mother to her gay son. David Daniel Otunga Jr., her love for him shines through not just in quiet gestures, but in bold advocacy, reminding the world that acceptance begins at home. When Jennifer Hudson speaks about her son, her tone softens, filled with a kind of warmth that transcends fame. She's been vocal about embracing her son's identity and using her platform to encourage other parents, especially within faith-based and Black communities, to do the same. In interviews and public statements, Hudson often stresses that every child deserves the freedom to live their truth without fear. Her words carry a subtle yet powerful challenge. That love rooted in faith should never be conditional. Instead, it should mirror the unconditional love that God extends to all. Hudson's journey as a mother of a gay son reflects a quiet evolution within R&B culture, one where artists are not only redefining musical expression, but also what family acceptance looks like in real life. Her story breaks stereotypes, bridging the gap between the sacred and the human, between belief and inclusion, by choosing empathy over judgment. She continues to use her influence to soften the stigma that has long surrounded queerness in religious and conservative spaces. For Hudson, the stage may have brought her award and acclaim, but her proud embrace of her son has given her a deeper kind of purpose. It's a legacy that reaches beyond entertainment, a reminder that love is the loudest song a parent can ever sing. And in standing by her son, Jennifer Hudson doesn't just champion LGBTQ+ acceptance. She embodies it, proving that the truest measure of greatness is not in how high one's voice can soar, but in how wide one's heart can open. 13. Loretta Devine's presence has always felt like a warm embrace. Her voice rich with soul, her laughter contagious, and her spirit larger than any stage she's ever graced. From Dreamgirls on Broadway to beloved TV classics, she spent decades lighting up audiences with heart and humor. But behind that golden glow lies another role she plays just as beautifully, that of a proud, supportive mother. Her son, James Lawrence II, a talented musician carving out his own path, shares more than a name with his mother. He shares her rhythm, her flair, and her passion for truth through art. When Devine talks about him, her joy is unmistakable. On the reel, she once beamed, "He got that jazz from me. Sing your truth." It wasn't just a proud mom moment. It was a testament to creative bond they share, one rooted in authenticity and self-expression. James, who identifies as gay, has found in his mother not just acceptance, but celebration. Their relationship hums with love and mutual admiration, the kind of connection where music and emotion intertwine effortlessly. Family gatherings often turn into impromptu jam sessions, with Davine harmonizing beside her son in moments that have become the stuff of family folklore. The perfect blend of art, love, and legacy. For Loretta Devine, motherhood has always been an extension of her artistry, full of warmth, rhythm, and sincerity. Her bond with James stands as a living example of what happens when creativity meets unconditional love. Together, they remind us that family, like music, is at its most beautiful when every voice is free to sing its truth. 14. Deborah Cox, the powerhouse voice behind the 90s R&B anthem Nobody's Supposed to Be Here, has always stood for emotional truth. Her music has long been a refuge for anyone searching for strength, love, and belonging. But beyond the stage and spotlight, her most profound expression of love has come through motherhood, when her daughter, Samaya Whitaker, came out as transgender. Deborah didn't hesitate to become one of her fiercest advocates. Her response was grounded not in fear, but in faith, a belief in her child's right to live freely and fully as herself. As a mother, Cox's support for Samaya has been both tender and powerful. She's spoken openly about learning, listening, and using her platform to amplify her daughter's voice. Her social media posts radiate pride and encouragement, reminding the world that true love requires understanding, not judgment. Through interviews and public appearances, she has made it clear that her daughter's transition is not a loss, but an evolution, a deepening of identity and connection. Her family's openness has helped dismantle stereotypes about what acceptance can look like in Black families, especially within the R&B and faith-centered communities that have historically struggled with queer visibility. But Deborah's allyship doesn't stop at home. She's become a visible supporter of the broader LGBTQ+ community, lending her voice to causes that promote equality, safety, and inclusion. Her advocacy carries a special resonance because it comes from a place of lived compassion, not abstract activism, but real, personal love. Fans who grew up crying to her ballads now see her embodying those same lyrics of hope and endurance in her real life. Deborah Cox's journey with her daughter Samaya is a living testament to what happens when love transcends boundaries. Just as her music taught the world about heartache and healing, her life now teaches about courage and unconditional acceptance. In standing by her daughter, she has redefined what it means to be an R&B diva, not just a voice that moves people, but a heart that changes them. Her story reminds us that love, when rooted in truth, doesn't just endure, it uplifts, empowers, and transforms. 15. Tamia, the Canadian-born R&B and soul powerhouse behind timeless hits like Officially Missing You and So Into You, has always embodied elegance, sincerity, and quiet strength. But beyond her smooth vocals and graceful public persona lies another beautiful truth. Her role as a mother fiercely dedicated to love and acceptance. When her daughter, Mila Hill, came out as queer, Tamia and her husband, former NBA star Grant Hill, embraced her with the same warmth and authenticity that have long defined their family. For Tamia, whose music often celebrates love in all its forms, supporting her daughter's identity wasn't a political statement. It was an extension of her values. The family's presence at Pride events and their visible joy in standing alongside Mila spoke volumes. There were no grand speeches or public debates, just a simple, powerful message. Love is love, and family means showing up. Fans have noted how Tamia's calm, nurturing nature has translated effortlessly into her parenting, creating an environment where individuality and honesty are not just accepted but celebrated. In interviews, Tamia and Grant have often emphasized that raising children in the public eye comes with challenges, but they've chosen to lead with openness. By supporting Mila's journey so publicly and gracefully, they've offered a counter-narrative to the silence that often surrounds queerness in Black celebrity families. Their family dynamic reflects a new generation of parenting, one that prioritizes emotional intelligence, empathy, and mutual respect over rigid expectations. Tamia's story with Mila is a reminder that love, when rooted in understanding, becomes its own form of legacy. Just as her voice has carried messages of devotion and healing for decades, her role as a mother now carries that same melody, one of inclusivity, acceptance, and the freedom to be oneself. In the same way her music bridges generations, her example as a mother bridges hearts, proving that the truest kind of love, both in song and in life, is unconditional.